Hello, beautiful people on the YouTube streets. Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best, and we have our regular TV review co-host, James, from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. Welcome.
Hey.
Hi. You guys, the link to James's channel is in the description of this video, as well as there are several playlists. Pretty much any show that he recaps, I've created a playlist for on this channel. Click it, hit subscribe, enjoy the videos, all those good things. But let's get into Love and Hip Hop Miami. This episode was titled Screaming, Crying, Throwing Up. There's a lot in this episode that proves to you why it's important, if you do become an entertainer of some sort, to have a backup plan and or an actual talent. We will get into that, but we're going to start with Black China, aka Angela White's sobriety party. She's premiering a new song. Well, Derek Milano, her boyfriend, did. And she didn't look the happiest about him mentioning a new song at her sobriety party. I don't know if anybody else caught it. James is nodding in agreement. You caught that? Strange.
Very.
Very strange. I'm like, why do the song if you don't even want to promo it? Was this a favor for
It's
him?
like, it's given, to me, I'm going to be honest with y'all, it's given like she really doesn't want to film the show, but she's filming the show. And it's really weird that you have a song that you could be promoting and you're not doing it. So what is your actual purpose for coming on the show now? Because I'm now confused.
I agree with that. I think that is the biggest thing.
And
And I
I
don't
know
think a lot
his
of people will
voice.
catch it. I'm
No,
sorry?
I know his voice. I thought I was listening to Tristan Thompson this entire time. That I was watching that.
Lord.
I was like, oh my gosh. Why?
They do kind of talk similar, though.
They do. And I was like, wait, what? Whoa. I guess I didn't pay attention to his voice at first, but I'm like, oh no, you gotta do something with that.
He's the bigger version.
Yeah.
The raptor version. But that is interesting. For those who want to know what his voice sounds like, go watch some basketball or go watch the Kardashians on Hulu. Hey, that's what we'll give you. But I'm glad we're on the same page, because I was like, that girl do not want to do this song. But okay. But China talks to Princess, who was at the party, about the situation between Princess and Amada. And Princess essentially ends up promising not to fight at her sobriety party. This is why I like Princess, and I've always liked her, because she's quick to fight, but she won't do it in circumstances or situations or places where you really shouldn't fight. She'll smack you if it's some BS event, like where Amada got smacked. I believe that was Estelita's launch party. No one takes that seriously. But at an actual, well-known celebrities party or something celebrating sobriety, which is a big deal, she say, I ain't gonna drink. So I respected her for that. Now, the next thing we see is Princess sit down with Brooke and Bobby Lights as well. And basically, Princess finally confronts Brooke about what she heard from Bobby. Bobby went and told Princess that Brooke was laughing when they got into a fight, which is true. The cameras keep showing Brooke's laugh. And Princess is mad that she was laughing at the fight, and also mentions that she didn't like how she was getting jumped and Brooke ain't jump in. Just because your friend is with you don't mean they got to fight for you. That's a very young-minded way of thinking, in my opinion. I know some of you may have a difference of opinions from me, but if this was Amina, aka Mrs. Best, like 10 years ago, if I see my friend fight, we fighting. Everybody's fighting, whether it's my business or not, we beefing. But 30 plus me, no. I feel like you should grow and evolve from that. If someone's just getting tore up and I can do something to stop it, I'll jump in. But if it's just the beef that you got, I'm gonna stand to the side. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Have at it. My knees is bad. That's how I feel. I don't know if you feel differently, James.
I feel like it wasn't you getting jumped is the problem that I have with her statement. You literally slapped somebody. She tried to do whatever she tried to do in that moment. Security broke it up, and then Estelita jumped in. So it was more so a tag team than it was a jumping. So I didn't like that at all. And I don't like when people want to hold other people accountable for something you started. Just I don't have that kind of loyalty to you where I need to jump and fight your battles for you just because you in a fight with somebody that you started. So no, I didn't agree with her at all. I thought that was really petty and really stupid of her to even want to put that on somebody else. And when were you and Brooke this close? Somebody remind me.
I think she's only saying that because she does know Brooke the best out of everybody on this cast because they were in Hollywood together. But outside of just being on the show together, they're not that close.
And I was gonna say, and that to me is irrelevant because at the end of the day, that show's no longer airing. That show hasn't aired in what 5 years, so I don't really consider that any type of peace treaty of loyalty, is what I'm saying. And even still, unless someone jumped you out of nowhere, like it was out of left field, there was no argument that took place, there was nothing that built up to you getting jumped. No, I'm not going to jump in if I know you started it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. I'm not that
Exactly.
person.
Princess, you hit that girl first. If you
Right.
hit
Right.
somebody first, you should not expect nobody else to jump in because if you hitting them first, you got the advantage. You shouldn't need no help.
It's given you couldn't take as the leader, and you mad because probably somebody who could, like Brooke, could probably take as the leader. She didn't do it. That's what it was given to me, and I could be wrong, and I don't really care. It's not like I don't like Princess, so I don't like anybody on this cast. Really, to be honest with y'all, I don't like any of them. But what I'm gonna say is that I don't like when people start mess and then tries to pick apart of what somebody did not do to ensue in their mess. I don't like that. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's the whole situation is just stupid. Who cares? Princess does make it known that she's not Brooke's friend anymore. I think all of these people use the word friend way too loosely. But then Amada comes over, and this is where Princess starts playing the fake violin as Amada is trying to make it seem like she's been wronged. Amada is annoying because she throws rocks, she hides her hands, she likes to act as if she's innocent and would never do anything classless or tasteless. But as we saw throughout most of this event, Amada does lack class and she does lack taste. Just because you speak in a better way, just because you use full sentences when you speak, just because you may not be out here claiming and professing to a more ratchet lifestyle does not mean that you are any different from somebody who's in that lifestyle. Amada is just as ratchet, just as loose, just as anything, and everybody made it very clear. But Princess and Amada have words. I'm not going to go over each word that they done called each other and went into it. But I will say, in my opinion, Princess ate Amada up. Amada was trying and trying. I'd rather be single than have a marriage like yours. And Princess came back at her and said, well, again, at least I can get the dang ring. You can't even get the man to commit after having his kids. You had to get him from somebody else. So I think Princess did what she was supposed to do. And I think of anyone we saw in this episode, I definitely think Princess made Amada feel a way about having them babies by Alan. But again, it's all pointless. How did you feel about their little back and forth, James?
I actually thought the opposite of you. I actually thought it was very immature and very silly of her. It's the right message, it's the wrong messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, though that was your husband, he displayed like actions that wasn't your husband, meaning that he was for the streets, as you said out your own mouth in this episode. He was
Mm-hmm.
out there doing things he wasn't supposed to do, and you just sat there and took it. So to me, you're no different than her. The only difference between you is that she goes after the married men. You stay in marriage is that the married men go and run and find girls like her. So to me, you're no different than she is, and you have no pot to piss in or the window to throw it out of. So I don't understand, for me, why you would think that by trying to take jabs at her made you look any better, because it didn't to me. It actually made you look more pathetic. Because to me,
Personally, I think most women, I would speak for women here, would feel a little bit differently just because if you break girl code, whatever jab is possible. However, I do agree with the fact that Princess's marriage isn't anything to be proud of or to be like throwing jabs. I also don't feel like being married is a badge of honor, if that makes sense. Like,
No, and to me, I felt like I need her to break down because the story keeps changing episode by episode. If you've noticed, Amara did say, "Hey, I met up with him." Da 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 da. Da. Princess never denied it, so it was like, but she wanted explicit detail. So right now we're getting into semantics because I understand what you're saying about the girl code thing. I understand what you're saying. I understand what Amara did lack of, but the thing about it is, it just seems like it was just a lack of detail.
no,
That
detail is not the problem. If you are friends with somebody, you do not, under any circumstance, go out and do anything with their ex or soon to be ex until you talk to your friend first. If Amara had spoke to Princess first, even if Princess disagreed, then I would feel differently. But you don't,
oh,
you
I
don't
gotta
do
go back
that.
and watch because I don't remember the contest because I thought she did.
She did not.
Okay,
She did
I
not.
still don't feel even knowing that. I still don't feel like because they're doing business, the TV show. I could see if it was a private moment that we did not have any
But
allude
that's
to.
the thing. It doesn't matter what the context of it is. If you
Hmm.
are friends with Princess and not Ray, then you tell Princess you're gonna meet up with Ray. It's not about approval or nothing. Just tell her so it look innocent if it is. Bitch stay with it said she actually told her afterwards, but I still really don't see the problem with that. That is also that could be everybody
I
is
feel like,
different
yeah, because
there.
I feel like regardless if she told her before or after, that probably wouldn't have made a difference to Princess.
That's also true.
I feel
She
like
would have
we're
been mad either way.
yeah, I feel like she was gonna be mad either way. And I feel like to me, if I ain't did nothing and he reaching out to me for business, my assumption is I feel like if he's reaching out to me, I feel like he's already told you I'm meeting up with her for business to do this. That's how I'm looking at it. That's why I'm like, I'm not saying Amara is right. I'm not saying she's right in this at all. What I'm saying is I feel like Princess's continuation to be petty with her is where I have the problem. I don't think she's wrong in a sense. I think for her continuing this forward and then slapping her behind it when you didn't slap your husband, I think that that's kind of where I have the problem.
Yeah, keep your hands to yourself because until you can actually confirm that
Right.
something has happened, there's no point in hitting her. And then secondly, you say y'all not together, so why does it matter?
Why is it that, and
A
that's
bit
my point. Yeah.
stay a bit stay with it commented, but knowing her friend, she knows she's a 304. So there's that. Right,
True.
Princess, just say you know how she moved.
Yeah, true.
But
I can
her and Ray
understand
not
that.
even together. That's the other thing. They're not. The thing with that, I also feel like Princess is not explaining that is a big deal is Amarta should have known better if Ray has never been interested in doing business with you before. And he's always got something going. He's a lucrative businessman. If he's never been interested in doing any type of business with you before, why is it that now that he is suddenly mad at Princess, he goes and kicks it with her one friend on the cast? Amada also should have caught on that, but then we go back to this comment. She a 304, so she don't care. The moment that Ray got down on his knees at that meeting, Amada should have left. She
No,
should have
I
left.
agree with that. No, she was foul, but like I said, I don't know if Amara really did the absolute most for her to deserve to get slapped. That's what I'm saying. Like until it comes out that they slept together, then I'll retract my statement. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
They didn't
understand.
do
Yeah,
nothing, and the
I
stuff
don't
is
feel like they
still
did anything
going.
either. Yeah, I
It's
don't feel like they.
still. I don't think they did nothing. Not if she talked about her kids was home and stuff. I appreciate you, Shani. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be going over Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Housewives of Beverly Hills, which Scotty by Nature just dropped. I was like, He said he's not covering it no more.
Oh, really?
I was just watching
Oh, I want to. I'm gonna have to watch this video
a
because
few
I didn't know he
hours
was.
ago.
Somebody else dropped it too.
Because the season of Beverly Hills, real quick to get sidetracked, like I've always felt this way about Beverly Hills. It's my favorite, one of my favorite franchises. However, the show, if you take out all the scandals that have happened with the cast, be boring as hell.
Mm.
A lot of the
Is,
times
the,
it
is the
just
panel
does.
still? I wonder if the panel is still covering that then for
He
him. You know,
said
he
he's
has a
only
panel that
gonna
does
do it.
Housewives, huh?
He's only gonna do it in his it was a live where they just covered the updates of what's going on with the
Okay.
stars. Yeah, he's not doing full recaps no more. I can't blame him. I
Mhm.
can't, because when I be watching it, taking the notes, James, I'd be like, "Ugh, can we
That's
see
because
something
they
else?
too focused on the one boring person on the show. It's like she don't ever give that. So why are your
Get
hopes
rid of
so low?
Kyle."
Yes.
And I think we would be okay. I really do. But we move on. We still at this same sad ass sobriety event. Eliza comes in all misshapen and broken from her plastic surgery. And she comes in with the shirt that says, and I quote, "Hide your husband, Amara is coming." Listen, Amara is that way. And we seen when she talked to Ray, I don't know if I should F the shit out of you or if I should. Nobody just says that. So I mean, hey, hide your husbands.
I feel like to me, I understood why she said what she said. I feel like she was saying I might as well have done what they're accusing me of doing because I've already suffered the ramifications of the consequence. I feel like that's what she was saying, and I understood it in that term. So I feel like to me, even though it was poor for her to say that, because I feel like that's not something you say, but I understood the justification of why you said what you said. Because yeah, if I'm going to be accused of the crime, I might as well have done the crime.
See, I would feel that way if this was someone who didn't have two kids with a man that's
Right.
married and not available. And that's the
No, I
thing,
get
like
what you're
Amara
saying.
could have an argument. If she was like Miami Tip, who does things like Amara but out loud and proudly, fine. But Amara be trying to act more innocent than she is. Just admit you slept with
Yeah,
a
I would
married
have just
man.
yeah, I get you. I get you. But at the same time, but our A princess, a princess sitting there all smug like a mean girl knowing she's a dummy and has a 304 for a husband. To me, I feel like Princess ain't no better than Amara. She just don't sleep with married men. That's just
Remember
the only
how
difference.
Ray got Princess?
Yes, like
He
she's
was with
no different.
Mayweather.
Like I love like her people like her and Drea Michelle and all of them that like to erase their past as if we can't Google you and see that. Like I don't
We
I
will
like
never forget.
yes, like we ain't like come on, like we not for to play like this. Do I see anything wrong with what they do? No, because you know what, at the end of the day, we all gotta pay a price. And sometimes depending on how you luck up, the price may not be that bad to pay. Yes, you may get a little reputation. But at the end of the day, it may pay off because look at them now.
Yeah, I
So
think a
I'm
lot
just
of
saying.
people forget this point too. He was with Thierry Marie the first like 3 seasons of Loving Hip
Yep.
Hop Hollywood. You could tell that he was not over that girl. The family loved her. They can't stand Princess. So they are very similar in a lot of ways, but honestly, people just need to be careful who the hell and how they date personally.
Yeah.
But the
I
Hide
agree.
Your Husband shirt came in. I don't know. To me, Eliza Rain was trying to have a moment for the camera because Eliza, you make no sense. You should be at home helping your daughter with her baby. Why are you here in this t-shirt looking like a triangle upside down? Why are you doing that? You are mad at him now. Like Eliza has no reason to be upset at Amada. In my opinion, you're mad because Amada missed your strange oil event. Now, to be fair, Amara was petty and hurt Estelita's side of things and decided she didn't want to go. But you haven't even spoke to this woman. So just because somebody didn't show up to your event, you gonna come in with a shirt that talks about hide your husband, this person's around. Eliza is thirsty.
I
She's
mean, the
thirsty.
worst kind of thirsty. I mean, she is dehydrated. Somebody get her some electrolytes, please. Somebody go get her. What's that stuff they give babies? Go. Somebody give her something, please.
Pedialyte.
Pedialyte. Yeah, somebody give her that, please. Because I'm about sick of her. I really am. I'm about sick of you.
A
Because here's
big
the
stick
thing.
with it. Wait, she cut up. It's a bunch of ain't shit women trying to
And
throw down.
that's why I said she taking the high road, y'all. She really is. Because to me, I would have read the absolute filth of her. I said, first off, Amara would be a noun, not an adjective, you fool. And then, second of all, I don't need someone built like a 6-inch Subway sandwich to walk into a place and try to tell me about my whole facts when yours ain't much different.
coming in looking like a caution sign at the shake. When we
Right.
just remember you during COVID on planes with Tory Lanez sucking off all his crew.
I'm just
Stop
saying, like, I know you out of all people ain't talking. Yes, okay. We can say Amara slept with married men. We can say that because there's proof in the pudding. But there's also proof of you too, man. And yours is, to me, is a lot worse than hers. So I
That's the
don't want to
truth.
hear from you talking about hide your husband, because where is your husband?
Right. Your baby daddy don't even, you can't even say his name on this camera
On this
without him
show. So
coming
I
for
don't want
you.
to hear from you. Oh, she
Be
makes me
quiet,
mad.
Eliza. Go sell a house. Why are
Yeah.
you here? I'm getting tired of Eliza. I
Oh,
really
like
am.
VH1, don't bring her back next season. Please don't.
And
Please
who
don't.
let
Leave
her
her
in the
where she
event with
at.
a t-shirt? Who let
Lord.
her in? She had a whole shirt made. That takes time. Um, Anywho, I just thought it was stupid, but we gonna keep it moving. We have to meet Pinky Doll. I think that was her name. If I
I
caught the
don't
name
listen.
incorrectly, I apologize. When I think of Pinky, I think of Pinky from the Bay, who's done things on some explicit websites. That's what I think
I
of.
mean, she was giving, I'm sorry, Mrs. Best, but she was giving me Amina Butterfly from Love and Hip Hop New York. I was like, what is this?
How she holds her mouth when she taught. So
Mm-hmm.
Pinky Doll, for those who don't know, as much as all of y'all are crying and bitching about TikTok as if we don't have real world problems going on, the girl was on TikTok. She got really big as an NPC, non-playable character, basically repeating things like an NPC in a game would. Now, I guess she wants to do mukbang and music. She's originally from Montreal, Canada. Why is this girl trying to eat 50 hot dogs with a 75-pound wig on her head? I don't understand it, but she swears she did well on TikTok. She says she was bringing in 100K a month. I said 100K a month by saying, yeah, oh, yeah, that, like, what? I don't understand. So she eating all them damn hot dogs. But we learned that she don't talk to her sister, who's also, I guess, in the industry. Her sister is jealous, according to Pinky Doll, because she had a dream to be an actual artist. And I guess Pinky's the one who's actually going to achieve that. I let me catch the comments before I give my opinion. Don't do Amina like that.
I ain't doing Amina like nothing. I'm just saying that's what she was giving. It was like, that's what I thought that was at first. I was looking for the heart tattoo.
I don't even like Amina Butterfly, even though we share a name. I do not like her. However, outside of how they hold their mouth, there are some differences, but I see the similarities in how they hold their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like her for this show. She was good at that too. I don't exactly know what happened.
I have
That
an
was
explanation.
Smart trying to eat all them hot dogs.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah.
She was good at that NPC thing. I'm not quite sure how you are good at being an NPC. I think that we really need to up the bar. I do not believe in that 100K a month thing. She would be balling at this point. That's over $1 million a year.
Do you know what Canadian taxes are like?
That's not as much out there.
That is not a lot of money. That is not a lot of money. And I believed her. I did. And let me tell you why I believed her, because I also knew someone else who was making that kind of money. But the problem was they were living in California, and the taxes in California were crazy for an entertainer if you don't have any write-offs. And that's the problem with a lot of them. They don't have the write-offs. They don't know how to write things off. And that's why I don't understand why people don't get CPAs when they start making that kind of money, because that's what they're there for. And to me, it's crazy. Like, they'll take it on tax. I'm telling you, they will take, even like, if you don't start writing off, like, the things that she didn't do, like, she didn't write off none of the supplies she did for her videos, which was silly. Like, that's what I'm gonna guess. I don't know the young lady, but I'm going to assume that, because I've known TikTokers who have made money but have not did the proper write-offs. No gas mileage write-ups, no restaurant mileage. I hope she was writing off the food that she was eating in them videos. Like, I feel like that's what it is. I feel like she's losing. And then you have to say, TikTok is a fluctuation. Just because you made 100,000 one month does not mean you'll make it the same month, does not mean you'll make it 4 months from now. It is very touch and go, which is why you need to have a slew of other social media platforms if that's what you're going to do. And I
Listen,
know, mhm,
TikTok is not, I think it's a wonderful platform in terms of how many people are able to go viral. It is
yes,
much easier to do stuff on TikTok. However, as I do creating, James does creating, we are creators ourselves. I am not just on YouTube, I am on various platforms. I think that that is smart for everyone to do as you're establishing yourself. Also, be sure to be growing and advertising your other channels and platforms because you never know. But she absolutely should be writing things off. I also think this is a good point. The sponsors, she likely does make a decent living based on that house that we saw that she has, but she does talk about she has kidney issues, all these things. She threw up the hot dogs. Uh, I don't know. To me, that's a little much. If I gotta eat hot dogs,
for some views, then we have to reestablish or refocus what we doing here.
what
Because
I'm
at the
doing
end,
with
when
my
I was
life,
looking at her
right?
doing all that, I was like, so not only do you have health issues, but you're putting your health at a bigger risk by doing mukbang videos, which realistically does sell. It is a high market because people love to watch people eat, but at the same time, there couldn't have been anything else that you could have thought of, like that would have been a lot less strenuous on your body.
Honestly, I think it'll come to this, and we're gonna come back to this
Yeah,
because
yeah, I
she
gotta talk
admitted
about
to
that too.
taking down all them bottles a day. I really think it impacted her brain. But I'm gonna just say this: ain't nothing wrong with it if you making money, but once you go viral, find another way to stay relevant. If eating food is your only other way of relevancy, then you need to be taking the money that you have less and contacting somebody and investing and trying to figure out ways for actual sound income because this don't even make no sense.
It does. It just seems like she just saw what was popular on TikTok and just went for it, like a lot of people do.
Mhm.
And I'm just one of the things I want to tell people is that give things time enough to where even if it does work, don't do it forever. Like, don't do, especially if you can't even handle the content you're trying to put out because you couldn't even stomach to eat all those hot dogs before you had to throw up. So that to me is a sign that says, okay, this may not work long term. What else can I do?
Right. And now you don't expose yourself. Talk about I'll do this later or finish later. Now we know that you're not actually eating it all in one sitting. So
Yes,
I don't know what she was thinking. But we're gonna come back to Pinky Doll because there's a lot to unpack with her. I don't I don't think she should have done this show, but we'll come back to that.
hmm,
Uh we see Zoe recording a music video, and she did have some bars. They were light, they were there for her song called Duncan. She's doing a video around all these donuts and extra stuff. And she mentions that her album has not worked out the way that she wanted it to. And she also mentions that her and Kelvin are not together. They're not living together. They're not speaking. I could give a flying fuck about Zoe and Kelvin. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm still looking at her as just like an ungrateful bitch to some extent. If you don't like the boy, break up with him. But I don't think that this was a breakup that needed to be televised. It's not interesting enough for me. But Bobby ends up telling Zoe about how Princess Red Amara broke up with Brooke. And this is where Zoe mentions doing a song with Ching Diamond. And Bobby tells Zoe to watch out for Ching Diamond, which I wish Bobby didn't say that because Zoe is super impressionable. Like you could tell her the sky is blue. And if she thinks that you will like her, she will say, "Oh no, for real, it is blue," knowing that it could be orange or some other color. Like Zoe, I wish he didn't tell her that, but at the same time, I'm glad he did because Ching Diamond, like, I believe in giving people second chances and things like that. But at the same time, with how she moved with that situation with Zoe and Shay, I was like, oh, Ching is messy. She went a little too hard for somebody too new. So that's
was Bobby at that event?
yes.
Okay, because I didn't know how to feel about that scene. That's why I was asking that question.
He was. He was. He's but Bobby been stirring the pot. Most times though, hair and makeup be on point, but she is a hairstylist. That is true. Her hair and makeup do look really good most of the time. I prefer
Most
her
of the
when she
time.
does natural curls and
Mhm.
wigs that are the yucky, all of that. Right, we don't care about that relationship. But she didn't hold the information that Bobby gave her against her. That is true. That is true. But I just worry because she'll find a way at some point. And I do feel like the interaction later with them that we see when they go for the ice cream, I do feel like that was slightly influenced by Bobby's words.
Yes, it
Slight.
was.
So she did hold it against her, but in a different way. She was a little bit Mo sneaky,
Um,
but we'll get to that.
yeah, because
Um,
yeah.
but I just generally I Zoe is all over the place. And it's hard
Mhm.
for me with her because you could tell she really wants to be liked, but at the same time, you could tell she wants to lose weight. She's leaning into negative stereotypes about big girls, just so that she could be able to get along with Ching. She's easily influenced. She's done too much with her sister without even getting approved too soon. Like Zoe is all over the place, and I need her to figure it out. So we're gonna come back to her because there's a lot that Zoe does in this episode that stressed me out. But I actually really liked Zoe and how she interacted with Ching, and we'll get to that. Pinky Diamond, we have to come back to her. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I could tell already, James. I don't care for this girl's storyline. So she's saying goodbye to Montreal because she met Timbaland through one of her viral videos on TikTok. Her and Timbaland made a little song together, and now she's going to come to Miami to work with him and to pursue her career in music. So she's saying bye to Montreal because of that. And this is where we learned that she used to be a stripper. She goes to her old club, and this is where the comment comes up because she talks about how when she was stripping, she had went through it. She felt really bad. Her mom would starve herself to feed her kids, which a lot of parents do, but that caused her to, instead of going to school, it caused her to want to strip. And I guess people are different. And when she was stripping to get through it, she was down in 24 bottles of alcohol a day. And she says that this is why she has issues with her liver and kidney because drinking so much destroyed it. Let me tell y'all, just because your mama and you grow up poor does not mean that you have to turn to stripping. Every person is different. I grew up poor, the oldest of several siblings, used to sit in class with my mom while she was getting her degree. Like, there were times we did not have food, there were times that we struggled. I didn't say, let me go climb the pole. Nothing's wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? But just say that you either wasn't the brightest in school, numbers wasn't for you, something. I don't understand that. And then you say that doing it caused you to have to drink so much. Just say you was an alcoholic girl. Because 24 bottles a day, even if it's the little single shots, that's a lot of liquor. Are you still drinking? Did you catch if she still drinks, James? Because I could have swore I saw them have a party at the house and
I saw it. No, you didn't miss it. I saw it. And to me, I feel like she's one of those ones where old habit dies hard in her. And I noticed that right away. I felt like to me, you know, I hate when children have a remorse guilt from their parents raising them and then struggling to do so. I feel like we need as children, and this is why therapy is so important because none of that is your fault. None of that is your responsibility to say, I hate to see her struggle like this because parents make the choice to have you. And some of those choices that parents don't think about is being financially sound to take care of you and not do it in a way to where it's a complete struggle from 0 to 18 for you. And sometimes, you know, I get that not every parent is perfect. I get that sometimes things happen. I get that sometimes broken promises happen with the people you have children with. I'm totally aware of all of that and I sympathize with that. But thank you, Abyss David, because that's exactly what I was about to say. I'm kind of tired of this story being told in such a way to where it excuses you making a choice to be a stripper because you didn't want to be in poverty anymore versus going to school and getting you a trade and getting you a degree. No one's saying that you can't be a rapper on the weekends. No one's saying that you can't do TikTok from 6 to 9 o'clock at night after you get off from work. No one is saying that. Me and Mrs. Best do that. We work full-time jobs and then we come on this YouTube streets to come and entertain and try to make a platform here for another stream of income. We all do this. But that to me is such a cop out. And I hate hearing that type of story. And I'm just being honest, y'all. I'm not trying to be mean, but I hate hearing the story time and time again because it's not your responsibility to pick up where your mother left off. That's
Yeah.
not your responsibility.
I'm glad you said that. I agree with both the comment and what you said. Like he said, we just regular people. My younger sister, when she was going to SF State, literally would call me sometimes or take the bus and BART all the way to Richmond from San Francisco just so she could get food because she didn't know how she would eat. Like, it's a lot of people out here struggling who grew up poor or come from nothing, who are going through, as my husband says, you got to go through the bullshit to get to tenderness, going through the bullshit to get to their goals, their dreams, whatever that might be. So, that's all we say. And a lot of people have this story. I think that's common in the hip hop world. And this is Love and Hip Hop. Trick grew up poor. Trina didn't grow up with much. Like, half of this cast grew up a certain way. Zoe came on the show homeless. So, not everybody has the options or the body in certain situations to strip. And, it is what it is. Really quick, I missed a comment. A bitch that would have said, I just think it's really dangerous for these morbidly obese ladies like that. That is on this show. Like, it's okay. I would like to see them being on a journey of healthiness and losing weight, positive imagery. Zoe was trying that until Ching Diamond came around. And she still kind of is trying it. And I'm sure she'll go back to it after, we discuss what happened. But I've been saying that since Zoe and Ching got cool on this season. What happened to your body positive, your weight loss journey? What happened to that? Now you're gonna do music videos with bars and donuts? Like, girl, pick a lane and stay there. But moving on, y'all. Pinky is still talking about her sister because her mama wants her to talk to her sister. They did show the sister doing her music, and they showed us a little snippet of Pinky Doll's music. The sister has talent. Pinky Doll does not. I'm so sorry. Pinky Doll was just her repeating a bunch of stuff that you could tell Timbaland and his good big producers was able to edit to sound like something. But her sister actually sounded like she had the cadence, delivery, the ability to write, all of those things to be an actual artist. I can't see Pinky Doll doing anything artistically as it relates to music without someone else writing the song, someone else doing most of the work. So that is it with that. Before we move on, James, I'm sorry in advance. We got to talk about Miami Tips book event, where the scene opens up with her talking about sleeping with a man that she didn't really want, who was rich, allowing that man to nut all up in her, and then being disappointed when the judge rules that she'll only get $3,500 in child support monthly. Why is Miami Tips still on this show?
First off, Winter Ramos 2.0. I don't think the world, you have a right to tell your story. You have the right to tell your story, and at any capacity as an author to another author, you have every single well-being of right to tell your story of however it sounds. But at the same time, I don't stand for promoting find you a rich man, make sure you get pregnant by him because money is the motive. I don't co-sign that. No, I'm sorry. That to me was kind of like you're not telling your story, you're writing the whole guide. And I'm not for that. I'm sorry. I'm like, I was sitting there listening to that, like, is she for real? Like, really? This is what we doing? Like, ladies, let me explain something to you. because I understand what this looks like. Bow Wow's baby mama got lucky. Dre and Michelle got lucky. Who else? Um, Dwayne Wade's baby mama that was on Basketball Wives got lucky twice. This does not always happen as much as people like to make this look like it does happen all the time. No, it does not. There is strategy, there is strategicness, there is vengeance, there is the almost selling your soul to get in
Calculated.
these places. And there's
Yeah.
calculations. It is not as easy as Tip is making it seem like in this book that I don't know if she's telling her story or if she's trying to write the whole guy. I don't know what it is. But it was baffling to me hearing that and to see everyone's face is like, oh, okay.
You could tell if Van didn't throw that shade at Eliza publicly, people would not have known how to react or receive that because the people was looking around until he said that, and then they released some of it. But Tip was a dancer for 20 years, which is way too long.
Go to the comment above that. I want to address that.
Bow Wow.
Yeah. So she's pregnant by the football player now. She has 3 celebrity baby daddies now.
She does.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that was the main ticket. I just knew her as that was baby mama because she had the first baby by him, but then she had a second baby by somebody else. I can't think of who the second baby daddy is. Future. Okay. Oh, damn. Never mind. But the third one, but I'm just saying, the third one is just like, I'm saying, like, she's constantly getting big name men, is what I'm saying. So, but I'm just saying that situation doesn't happen. Like Dre situation doesn't always happen for a 40-year-old woman to get a 21-year-old man and have a baby for all that security. Like, it does not always happen that way. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want viewers of this show to watch Miami Tip read this story and her say money is the motive and all this kind of stuff like that. Because $3,500 to a millionaire is nothing.
Yeah. Also,
so to me, I feel like you got played, but you know, that's just me.
3,500 to child support, that's a lot more than just regular people would get. So, you know, be grateful to a certain extent, but I don't understand it. It's very weird. She said it don't get no child support from either one of the Future and Trayvon Diggs. She is a 304 for nothing except in the bottom line. Oh yeah, Future is notorious for taking his baby mamas to court to get his payments to the minimum that they could be. So
did she already have that baby by Trayvon Diggs, or is she still pregnant? I thought she was still pregnant.
She had the baby.
Did she?
Should have had the baby because she just had a baby shower a few months ago and she was pregnant as hell then.
Okay, I don't know. You know, I don't follow these. I just know she one of many that get big name men. And my point was to say, ladies, stop falling for these type of antics if you don't have any calculations. Like I can't think of one woman who actually did it the way it's supposed to be done. Like baby mama hoeing kind of situation. To me, the biggest flex to me, as I said, is Sutton on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills getting $350,000 a month in spousal support.
See, that's the thing. Babies, you rely on the child support, and then you got to take from that child support to fund a certain lifestyle that we know has nothing to do with the child. Whereas if you're married, then you can get spousal support and child support. You can get a check for yourself and the baby. So it just goes to show that if you are going to have a baby, make sure it's at least with somebody who you was with or married to. It just makes better sense. But Brooke Valentine at this event feels attacked by everybody because everybody is talking about how Brooke is in the middle. And I do agree that Brooke is in the middle. And I have said this since Brooke has been on this season. Brooke, you need to mind your Black-owned business. It is getting you into some BS. People are feeling away because of that. But Bobby also feels like Amara does not take accountability for her part in things, for why Princess is upset, which is true. And he walks away talking about Amara broke girl code. But Amara tries to act upset with Brooke, which is where Brooke gets fed up and leaves the event. Because Brooke is like, do you need my protection? It's not my job to protect you, which I feel two ways about it. I agree it's not Brooke's job to protect Amara, but you put yourself in this. You should have minded your Black-owned business. You put yourself in this. So So you can't then say to her, oh, you need protection or any of that. You put yourself here. She didn't ask for your help. And at the same time, Amada does need to be somewhat more accountable and should not be mad at Brooke. So I was looking at them like they was crazy. Let me catch the comments. Angela White definitely missed the bag. She should have married Rob Kardashian. She would have the only Kardashian child by birth. She fumbled.
That's her fault.
Yeah, she was drunk.
That's her fault. To me, I felt like she was trying so hard to say, I'm gonna be the first Black Kardashian and this and this and this and that. And it was like, if you would have just shut your fucking mouth and just did it, we wouldn't be going through all of this. So realistically, I blame her for it. Because yeah, she definitely fumbled, but that was her own fault for being big headed like she was back then and not thinking with common fucking sense like most people do and just taking it. That's what I'm just saying. So that's her own fault. I don't feel bad for her for that.
She said, I want a princess to do Brooke like she did about it.
First of all, Brooke and Amar are two different people.
Yeah.
Brooke about it. We saw her on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Brooke about it. She wasn't going to flinch. She wasn't going to scare. And I believe Princess knows sugar from salt. She do. That's why she wasn't going to try Brooke.
She does. She does. Yeah. That's a good explanation. Amara will never be accountable. Hoes never are. They just not. She should not. She should have been upset with Brooke because Brooke is the one that brokered the conversation.
Agreed.
Yeah, but Brooke keep putting herself in people's business, and it looked like Brooke is not interested in arguing with people. I feel like it has something to do with Marcus and his newfound toxic masculinity, which can show in different forms. Mm-hmm. And I get that from him. I feel like he don't want her to be acting the fool and probably puts a lot of pressure. And Brooke does give me the type of woman who, when it comes to other bitches, she'll be in everybody's business and be vocal. But when it comes to her own man, is yes, daddy. Yes, daddy. Yes, daddy. That's what I think is going on in her household, but we'll let her be. She said if she wasn't going to be a mediator, she should have left or not brokered the sit down at all. Brooke was messy with that whole sit down, but Brooke is the thing I need people to understand. Brooke is behaving in the same messy way she did on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, which I think is easy for people to forget because Hollywood was kind of the forgotten franchise that they just left there. But she's always been messy like this and inconsistent. She's always done it, even with Marcus and the whole booby situation seasons ago.
It was even more than that. Remember, he had like a girlfriend or something on the show, and she was inserting herself as if like she was controlling that relationship. Mm-hmm. Like Brooke used to do some of the most outlandish, craziest things I've ever seen on TV, which is why she was such TV gold, because it was like, where do you even come up with this stuff at? Like, where do you who thinks like that? Like, to me, that's almost and this is going to sound crazy, but you know what I mean. To me, that's almost like serial killer-ish, the way she thinks. It's very. I want someone to study Brooke. I really do. That Brooke then. I don't know if she's still that Brooke now, but that Brooke then, because that was crazy to me. I'm sorry, it was.
I think anyone in psychology would do. There is an explanation for it, and it does align with serial killers. So it's interesting that you brought that up.
No, yeah, because I know what I'm talking about. That's why I said that. That's why I said it's going to sound crazy to people who are not educated in the field. But no, I know exactly what I'm looking at when I see it. That's why I'm like, no, yeah, she needs to be studied.
Brooke is an interesting cookie, but people, I think everyone should be reminded now. Yeah, go watch Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. The later seasons, I believe it was like 2, 3, and on. With Brooke and Marcus, and see why it's very hard for me and James to just accept what they throwing at us. Like, they full of it. Mm-hmm. But we go back to the foolery of Pinky in Montreal. She's having a going away party now. Damn, you done went around your city, looked at your old strip club. Now you having a party. Her wealth is not going to last if she doesn't get things in order. That's all I'm going to say. But her sister Madonna feels as if Pinky Doll stole her idea. She related a popcorn video, and I do know what popcorn video they are talking about because at that time I did have a TikTok. I deleted my TikTok a while ago because I see all the same shit on Instagram. Everybody shares it everywhere, so I don't need all these accounts. I'm old. But they the popcorn video, and I guess the whole like idea behind Pinky Doll's brand, her sister is saying she took from her. And I kind of believe the sister. I kind of believe the sister. I think it's stupid that they're arguing over ideas that are not original. She is not the only, nor is she the first NPC TikToker. She is not the first person to do mukbangs. She is not the first person to speak in the manner that they're speaking, which gets people to catch on to them with all the growling and purring and strange stuff. Like, they are not original at all. They're not. There are lots of other creators doing the same thing. And these heifers are arguing as blood over something that's not original, which to me is dumb. But I do believe her sister feels like something was stolen from her. And based on Pinky Doll and what she has given us thus far, until she can show a receipt, I don't see a person who has talent. I see a person who got lucky on social media. I do believe her and her sister were probably working together as siblings, and her sister probably came up with an idea thinking it would work for both her and them together, which the sister did bring up. She was like, okay, if you didn't steal it, then why couldn't you invite me in? Why couldn't I be a part of it? Instead, you go off and you do it behind my back, not telling me, which shows you know you did something wrong. So that little part right there makes me think that Pinky Doll is wrong slightly. However, the mama just letting them argue like that in that house at that event, weird, very weird. And it makes me look at the family dynamic a little bit deeper, because why are you so concerned and upset that your sister has a dream? It should be like, oh, my sister made it, I made it. That's how most people would view it, but I
Mhm.
guess they don't. I
And
don't.
that goes to show, and that's what makes me think opposite of you. I
Mm.
feel like here's the thing. It may have been an idea that collectively they may have came up with together, but the sister gives me she likes to drag her feet or kind of pause and procrastinate. That's what I was getting from her. From the
Mm.
moment she said what she said, it was kind of like, okay, if she was willing to put the effort forward, then where were you? And where is your channel? And where is your TikTok? Where is your stuff? Because now you're
Yeah.
on a TV where you can actually showcase all of this. And I don't like people who, just because someone has made it and you become angry because you block your own blessings when you do this. I
That's
just
true.
want the sister to be aware. You block your own blessings when you try to intercept how you feel about your sister's success when you should just be proud she has it. Regardless if you feel an envious spirit upon it, just be glad she was able to make it based on how she described your living situation when you were kids. To me, I would be more proud if one of my siblings had made it, and I would just say reach back for me, because when I'm ready, I'm gonna be ready, and kind of go like that. Like I would be like Cardi B's sister when she got on Love and Hip Hop. We made it, we this, we that, and just pumping her up to continue to go, because I think that honestly, that played a huge part of why Cardi B continued the success, because she had so many people championing her, and it was the close people around her circle championing her to understand that we can't go back. We have to continue to go forward. We can't do this. And I feel like, to me, the sister was given praying for her downfall. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So that's why I said I understand that the sister may have a little bit more talent, and I understand the sister may feel a way about the popcorn video, whatever that was. But at the end of the day, it's here and it's now gone. What else do you
I
have to
think
fight about?
the only point the young I don't know who's older or younger, but the only point Madonna made again that I most agree with, if it is her idea just off the strength of loyalty and how family goes, and like what you're saying is likely true. There's always that sibling that drags their feet with doing stuff. That is just the fact. But if you know that about your sister, still give her the opportunity to be in the video if you know it's her idea. So I'm not denying. I believe the sister when she says that Pinky Doll stole her idea. I do. But at the same time, I also can see your point in like, okay, she's lazy. Is she just going to wait forever? What I'm still
Mm,
baffled over is y'all really arguing about ideas of doing bullshit on the internet. And it's unfortunate because the sister, if anything, if you're making decent music and talent, showcase that over popcorn. I don't understand why they're leaning so hard into it. A lot of people There's studies that they go asking like younger kids in elementary school and stuff, what do you want to be? And more kids are answering YouTubers, a TikToker, content creator, things like that. And it's already an oversaturated field. So I just really don't like to see siblings argue. But I'm also side eyeing the sister because, girl, why are you still stripping? Is your pride so much that you still want to climb the pole when you could make peace with your sister and be okay in the big house?
And
Like,
that's why I have a problem with her. That's the exact reason why I have a problem, because her pride is such in her way. That makes me feel like, to me, that's why I feel like it may not have been her idea. If it was her idea, she just was probably scared to do it. And now that you see your sister got the success from it, now you want to come back and be angry about it. And it's like, no, because to me, it wouldn't have mattered if it was her idea. If it was still my idea, I still would have did it.
yep.
And then social media would just have to choose which one was better.
Yeah. I don't see
That's
why they
how I
can't
would,
do
yeah.
that either.
I just would have did it. Like, to me, and I wouldn't care what my family thought. Like, it was my idea, so we gonna let social media choose which one is better.
But I think it's also important when you're dealing with social media. James has mentioned this on the channel, as well as several other creators that are well known and specialists. Like, there's nothing that you're going to do more likely that is original. You just may be being noticed for something that no one else has gotten noticed for, but it doesn't mean that you are the first. You are just the first recorded person doing it. So it's
Or
a stupid
or
argument.
you're the first of many that the algorithm hasn't gotten to. That's how I worded it. It's the you because honestly, there's nothing original anymore. There's nothing original. Like, I
Absolutely
don't care
not.
what people say, somebody out there has done it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at life now. I look at life where, because of where social media is today, and as you said, how many people want to be content creators, how many people want to do this as a career because they see the instant gratification of it. I totally feel like there's nothing original anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I
You
feel like,
agree?
for once again, sister, whatever her name was, Madonna, and that's another issue right there. Baby, your name is already somebody else's that's bigger. So you need to change that, because
No, for real.
there's no way social media is going to say Madonna. There is a Madonna and there's already a pre-Madonna.
Uh,
So you can't, I'm sorry, baby, you're gonna have to do something else. Whatever your rap name is, that's what you should have showcased. That's what you should have went by. Whatever your rap name is, because I doubt it's Madonna. I doubt that your rap name is Madonna. So for me, whatever your rap name is, that's what you should have been known as, and use this show just as much as your sister is. Because
I
I'd have been
agree with
like,
this. I agree with this comment from a bitch they went in. She likely is on the show because she doesn't have any more wealth because she was still pulling in that money and she was very clear on them
mhm,
views going down. She
mhm,
wouldn't be here. She said, I cannot understand why a mother would lean on her children for them to take care of her. Her mother sounds very sorry. Um, from what
mhm.
she explained, it sounded like the mom tried to have the kids be okay and not know that she was hungry. However, the part that I don't like is that the mom just let them argue and go at each other like that. Like, you should, as a parent, see that they're not reaching resolution and step in my
She
opinion.
was giving me very much Sheila from Real Housewives of Potomac. She was giving me very much Sheila. Just
Just
she
with
just
the
has
better
her own
wigs.
natural hair. So it's just, that's it. That's all she was giving me, very much. My child has made it. Now I'm about to live through my child, because I couldn't do it no matter what age my child's was. I just couldn't do it. And you have parents who just can't do it, who just cannot never make it. Life will do that to you. And I understand that wholeheartedly, because there's days I struggle even to this day. But the problem that I have with the mom is that what Mrs. Best said, if you want your children to get along and make amends, you can't just sit back in the cut and just tell them and just watch them just sabotage each other about social media and things that really don't matter at the end of the day. So I did look at that mama with side eye. To me, she was giving some of Sheila, and she was giving Latasha Scott and Tamika Mama from
Yep. Yep.
Escape. That's what she was giving. A mix between the two.
This is a good point too. I wonder if Pinky and her family are on here to replace Flo and her family. I don't think
Um,
so.
I don't think so either, because I feel like VH1 could do better than that, personally.
Mm.
But you never know.
Yeah,
To me,
that's
I feel like Flo is on a timeout, but I want them to replace Black China. If they replacing anybody, I want them to replace her
Yeah,
because
she was a dud. I
I don't
respect
feel
her,
like we
but
really
she's
getting.
above it.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think that necessarily she's above it. I feel like she's trying not to fall into the cracks of her old life, and I feel like well, then you and Derek needed to have a bigger conversation. If he wanted to be on the show, then he should have been on the show, and you should have sat back because
Mhm.
you being here, I don't see the purpose. I don't see the vision. You're not. I mean, I get she's trying to show us the positivity and the sober life, and I am proud of her. I
This is
really
not
am.
the show for that.
But this is exactly that's my point. This is not that type of show. You need your own show. You need to start a YouTube series show like everybody else. And if you want to showcase your sobriety, which I would watch because I am curious to see how you did do what you did. But my thing is, I want Angela to be replaced. If anybody's getting replaced, I want Angela to be replaced. I do.
I would agree. I would agree. I don't like Flo um, in the comment she made, but I don't feel like the comment was as bad as Erica Mena's comment. I also don't feel like it was enough for VH1 to decide to sit her and her family down. But Black China has not brought anything to this show, and it's just the fact we support sobriety, but Love and Hip Hop has never been the space for people to thrive in sobriety. The last thing we see on this episode, y'all, is Zoe and Ching Diamond meet. They go out for ice cream because Ching Diamond's man is actually going to be getting released from prison. Ching, I see what you're doing. I think Ching is way more insecure than she shows. Zoe wears her emotions on her sleeve. So we sense every insecurity, anger, joy, upset, all of it. It's easy to sense. Ching hides it, which would make sense for her being good at it, hiding it, because when you're in prison or jail, you got to hide certain parts of yourself emotionally to protect yourself. So it makes sense because every single scene that Ching Diamond has done, with the exception of one with her and her mama, she has made sure to be around food. I'm all for body positivity and things of that nature. However, comma, we want to see people getting healthy who are heavier set because we know that it's not comfortable. And secondly, people gonna talk about you even if you was thin. So you don't have to continuously film yourself around donuts and foods and fried foods and fish and gator and all these crazy things. You don't have to keep doing it. But they're having ice cream. Her man's getting out of jail. And I did laugh a little bit before they got into it because Ching said that her man is employment challenged. That's not cute or funny. If you can get out of prison, Ching, and change your life and become successful, then he can do the same thing. Everybody got something they good at that can make them some money. I truly believe that. Everybody can
Mhm,
find something. So he
mhm.
can too. And Zoe starts asking all the questions that Ching's mom and the audience and all of us want to know. Zoe's like, I hope you're not going to be taking care of him, which is what a good friend should do. See, your good friends are the ones that tell you the truth and then follow behind it with, but I'm going to still be here for you and love you either way. But they're the ones that's going to tell you the truth and make sure your ass is making the right choices, uplift you, things like that. But some of those truths are hard truths. And I felt like Zoe was being a good friend to Ching in this scene. So then Zoe says, well, you shouldn't date him if he ain't got no job. Like, I could never. And Ching makes a comment about Zoe and Kelvin. And Zoe gets mad at Ching Diamond for comparing her jailbird to Kelvin, which my thing is, I'm like, you don't even want this man, Zoe. I understand defending him publicly, but nobody is going to take the comparison of a nigga locked up to a nigga that's free and doing big things. Nobody's going to compare the two. You can't. One's free and the other is not. So I felt where Zoe was coming from, but I didn't feel it was necessary for her to vocalize it because that's not even your man no more. So why are you doing that? But I also feel like Ching needed to hear the truth. Ching doesn't like that. And Ching mentions the fact that Kelvin's 4'11" and Zoe's 6'5", and that don't work. And Zoe's basically like, you disrespected my man, and why are you bringing up my height? You're body shaming me. At this point, if you tell Zoe that you don't like her outfit, you're body shaming her. But I also do agree with Ching or with Zoe, like that was not necessary for Ching to be talking about your height Who cares if he's shorter than her? It doesn't matter. It works for her. Your man is locked up. Her dude is shorter, which Ching may have been trying to paint that, but they end up getting into it. It looked like Ching was the one acting like she wanted to fight physically first. I'm not surprised that these two got into it. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. Ching Diamond is doing too much over a man that can't do nothing for her, in my opinion. That's how I feel. I felt like Zoe was a good friend in telling her the truth. But where Zoe could have corrected herself, there was no need to say to Ching, don't compare Kelvin to no jailbird because you don't know her. You don't know the guy. Yes, he's in jail. But was it enough for them to have fought? No, if that makes sense. So I'll leave the floor for James.
I thought both were very pathetic, but I understood Zoe because she did go low. I felt like that was not necessary, and she's only. I think Zoe was coming out of concern because, man, he's in prison, and y'all better ask Sonny over there on Love and Marriage Huntsville about a man breaking parole to go to a different city. Allegedly, because I don't know if that's really why he went to prison, but that's what it was given. Um, I feel like you really need to look at the outer lens because why did he go to prison again? He was selling drugs. If that's what I remember, I could be wrong. But my thing is, why isn't the worth ethic not being questioned? And why do you feel like you need to take care of this man? That's crazy instead of she even would think that that would be okay. And we're all looking at her like, you have stuff to lose. Like, this man can come out of prison and hate that you got all this spotlight and try to damage it. Like, you need to be asking yourself some of these questions, ma'am.
You just said he cheated on you 15, 28 times.
Right. And that was another thing I was gonna bring up. And then you say he cheated on you. So it was like, well, who did he cheat with you with? Because he's been in prison.
Just because you choose to forgive your man, ladies, does not mean that everybody else is going to respect your choice or agree with it. And they don't
And,
have to
and
because
they
it's
don't
your
have to. And the
choice.
thing about it is that's why you shouldn't tell people if you really don't want the real truth from people. See, people do this like to me, I feel like women especially do this, not so much men, but women do this where they'll complain, they'll prod, they'll be like, oh, this man ain't shit, he don't do shit. But the moment you give them advice about, hey, well, why don't you choose you? Oh, you trying to down me and judge me by my decisions and all this and that. Oh, I sound like Bucky. But I'm just saying, like, then don't say anything to anybody. If you don't
That's
want to be
actually
judged,
a good example is Shay on this show. She keep talking to us about Fabo and his mishaps, but then she didn't want to hear nobody's mouth when they're telling her not to be with him.
and it was like,
It's
well, then what did you ask? What did you ask people's opinions for? If you or what did you vent to people for? Because obviously we love you and we want the best for you. So why would you think by telling us all this that does not sound in any way, shape, or form normal? Why would you then attack us because we have an opinion that is like, why would you put yourself through this? You're better than this. Like, we trying to uplift you. You sit over trying to sabotage the people around you. So I think that's exactly what Shane was doing. And this made me not like.
yeah, me
I
too.
already, I already like this was because I actually liked her from the beginning, and now I don't like her because I see what you're doing now. You're playing a game that is dangerous because you don't want people to judge you because you know this shit is stupid and you know this shit sounds wrong, but you don't want people to judge you for it. So you're going to go and attack people and what they have because you don't want people to reciprocate that energy of, yes, it sounds stupid to house a man who's in prison. Yes, it sounds stupid to bring a man from
Just like
Nebraska
the
to
girls on
Miami.
Girls After Lockup who be like, yeah, I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm hoping for the best. Say that. Ching is a great artist. She's very talented, but this is not it for her.
And then also and then the cheating thing, man, there is ass all over Miami, literally. That man, as soon as you go somewhere, that man's gonna be looking. Like, come on, you're off my screen. You're
Yeah,
off my screen.
it's too much. It's way too much. But that's all that happened, y'all, on this episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. This was titled Screaming, Crying, Throwing Up. Um, all the women this season need to do better, China included. China's agreeing to do songs and things that she doesn't want to do just to please a man. Zoe is out here ungrateful and tripping out because of a man. Amara don't know how to get one or keep one, and is always in some mess because of one. Flo is in some bullshit because of a man and lying to us. Shay's man is all over the streets, and Trina's new man is a mystery. Every woman on this show are acting like dingbats when it comes to these men. So just remember when y'all watch that it's a show, we should not behave or date like these people in real life. I want everyone to take that in, sit with it. We'll be live again tomorrow to do Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And then we'll also do Beverly Hills. James's channel, a lot of your shows went off. I'm not sure if he's going to pick up a new show, but if you guys want to suggest something in the comments for James
I'm
to
open
cover,
to suggestions. I'm open to them. Whether or not I execute them is going to be a different story. But I'm open to any suggestions. I know someone wants me to do not what is it? Put a ring on it? Not put a ring on it. The other one. Ready to Love. I know a lot of y'all want me to do Ready to Love and give my couple's perspective. I will watch it this week and then I will decide. Like, because I think there are only 3 episodes in. So I will see. I don't know how I feel, but I will see.
Well, we have lots of shows. I heard the Never Ever Mets is coming back too. I'll cover that. I actually like the concept of that show, which is rare with OWN. Which is rare with OWN.
Mm-hmm.
But just be on the lookout, you guys. Support James's channel. I believe we will be on his channel though over the weekend for Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. They both return this week. So tap in. But love and light to everybody. The description in the description of the video is a link to James's channel, and I will see you all on the next live. Adios.